Blacklist Hunter here, and today we're going to talk about the legendary hunter Isaac Netero versus the Royal Guard Chimera Ant Pitou, and why it's clear who is stronger. Netero is one of my favorite characters and one that you can't stop admiring and look up to just because he's probably the only character in the series who we've seen display such immense discipline and determination to reach his goal. Netero was once called the strongest nen user in the world and the foe you wouldn't want to go up against. Pitou is a character that personally I've never liked just because she got rid of Kite, my favorite character in the series. However, there is no doubt that Pitou is the strongest royal guard. Netero, when he first took a look at Pitou, stated that thing looks a lot stronger than I am, which Nov then responds, "Surely you're joking, chairman, then no hunter would be able to stand a chance against it." Netero is quite old, around 110 years old or maybe even older, and he states that it's been more than half a century since he was the strongest nen user in the world, and he also states that now he is less than half his former strength. All that is stated by Netero while he's looking at Pitou for the first time. To be absolutely honest, the statement of Netero about Pitou being stronger than him can be interpreted in many ways, but I've never taken that statement of Netero as him being 100% truthful. He might have been joking, being playful as always, or maybe he meant Pitou has a physical advantage, or perhaps Netero meant aura capacity, or maybe he meant at the current state he is not strong enough to beat Pitou. We know that Netero was recharging his strength later on. No matter how you see it, Netero was downplaying his strength because we did see later on of what the legendary hunter Isaac Netero is capable of in his fight against the King Merem. Later on, Morel and Nov are setting up traps for the Chimera Ants and throwing them in the nen rooms of Nov, and there Netero is waiting for the ants. Netero is just smashing and destroying every single ant without any difficulty at all on easy mode, low ranking ants up to squadron leaders. I just mentioned this because Netero had probably ended hundreds of Chimera ants while not even breaking his sweat, and he at that moment was just warming up, getting some of his strength back. Here it's where Nov states that Netero was being humbled and that the chairman is still much stronger than them, because Netero, when he first saw Pitou, made a joke and said that he is now relative to Morel and Nov in his old age. Later on, Colt is with Netero, Morel and Nov, and this is one of my favorite scenes. Netero activates his Ren and he powers up his aura and asks Colt on how does he compare to the king, which Colt then states that Netero won't be able to lay a finger on the king and that Netero will be killed by even a royal guard. Morel and Nov, both experienced and great hunters, were amazed at Netero's aura, and I always thought that Colt judged based on the feeling that Netero's aura emitted. Netero wasn't displaying any malice in his aura but pure raw power. It's just like when Wing activated his malicious aura to go on and kill Wa, and the difference when he activated his normal aura with no evil intent, it was totally different. I believe Netero's serious mode aura with malice is incredibly frightening, and we saw that later on when he was charging up his aura and Killua didn't even dare to go towards him, and even though Netero was so far away, Killua still felt that incredible, immense and terrifying power that he wouldn't want to go and check out what it is. When Netero and Zeno jumped off the dragon, Pitou turned on Ant to locate the enemies, but in that instant Zeno activated the dragon dive, which is probably the most awesome and cool scene in the anime. Pitou then turned off Ant and jumped towards the sky to attack. With her incredible sharp senses, she was able to locate Netero, and it was stated that she deemed Netero as a far greater threat than Zeno's dragon dive. Pitou activated Terpiscora, which takes 0.1 seconds from the moment of activation to attack, and in that moment Netero, the goat, spoke and said that he anticipated several attack and defense patterns, but that was a bad move, Lil Ant, so Pitou just made a big mistake. Netero's movements were so fast and fluid, but Pitou had insane sharp senses, and everything took place the moment Pitou tried to attack. Pitou was able to follow Netero's movements by only infinitely compressing her awareness. The thing is that Netero's attack was so swift and powerful, it was unavoidable, and the result was that Pitou was sent flying kilometers away. That really showed the capacity capacity of Isaac Netero. There was no way that Pitou could dodge or anticipate where the attack would be coming from. No chance at all for Pitou to stop Netero's attack. Pitou didn't even understand what even happened. Later on, when Netero and Zeno are in the room with Merem and Merem is holding Komugi, Pitou activated Dr. Blythe for a moment, and Netero and Zeno were slightly distracted by the malicious aura of Pitou, and it was deemed as monstrous. But the greater monster was Merem, and this is a very important point. Now, Netero has incredible speed, and his main weapon is the 100 type Guanin Bodhisattva. He's the man who is a perfect Nen master, as stated by Togashi himself in a data books, and a man with a vast experience in battle. Pitou is not at the level of Netero in Nen mastery. Yes, she is at the genius level, and she does have Terspiskora and Dr. Blythe, but she is not winning against Netero. Netero wins in a battle against Pitou. Pitou can never anticipate Netero's next attack. Even Merem was having a hard time to get through the Guanin Bodhisattva defense, and even Merem stated that Netero's motion of prayer that launches his attack is even faster than him, and Merem even stated that that is a weapon of Netero that may allow him to defeat him. Netero has such immense speed, the whole process of making the motion of prayer is less than 0.1 seconds. Netero has exceptional speed, strength, and reflexes even in old age. His mental strength and battle strategy is way beyond Pitou's. Pitou probably does have more aura capacity than Netero, but she doesn't have the genius intellect and strategy of Merem. Knuckle stated that Yuppie's aura capacity was around 700,000, but I don't think Pitou is around that. She may have less aura than Yuppie, and Netero, in my opinion, has less aura reserve than Pitou, and Netero probably would be at around 400k, 500k aura capacity, just a estimation. Pitou does have immense durability, but also not at the level of the King Merem. Netero's Guanin Bodhisattva is faster than Pitou's physical speed. Even if Pitou activates Terspiskora, which boosts her physical strength and attack speed, there is no way Pitou is getting through Netero's Bodhisattva. Netero is certainly very strong in physical hand-to-hand combat. His punches are faster than sound, but at this point and age, he's not at the level of Pitou. His main weapon for winning is the 100 type Guanin Bodhisattva. For example, 99 hand is certainly not gonna get blocked by Pitou, and is certainly going to do damage to her. I even think first hand and third hand attack of Netero can slightly damage Pitou. At one point in his fight with Merem, Netero's senses reached a peak, and he was able to exchange thousands of blows with Merem in a minute. And again, Pitou certainly isn't at the physical durability of Merem. Pitou certainly doesn't have the experience of fighting like Netero does. Netero is on a whole higher level. Merem was the pinnacle of Chimera and power, the king, and he still got outmatched in speed by Netero. Netero could exchange thousands of punches with Merem in a minute, and even the king was starting to feel a dull ache in his body. Pitou, even though she is kinda tough physically, is nowhere close to the king. Netero's Bodhisattva is extremely fast and has immense power and really packs a strong punch. Merem took the hits. He couldn't do anything to stop the insane fast Bodhisattva hand attacks, and he kept on attacking. His strategy was simple, but it worked since his durability is probably the highest in the series, and Merem actually had genius level of intellect, and he managed to find the needle in the hay. Pitou is probably never getting close to hitting Isaac Netero. Pitou has no long range attacks. If she gets a hand or her leg cut off, she can't heal with Dr. Blythe in midst of combat, and even Terpiskora, even if it boosts her strength and speed, is not gonna do much. If Merem, who is far superior to Pitou in terms of physical abilities, speed and reflexes, has difficulty trying to get past Netero's defense, then it's impossible for Pitou. Pitou is not as intelligent as Merem. She is definitely not outsmarting Netero in combat, and thousands of hits will definitely damage her. Netero has infinite attack combination patterns, and it's impossible to predict Netero's next move by reading his aura. Even if Netero has lower aura reserve, I think Netero's endurance is top level, and if the battle draws out, eventually Pitou will lose. Finally, Netero has his ultimate weapon, Zero Hand, which can trap Pitou, and then Netero would focus all his aura and fire it with insane and destructive force. There is no way that Pitou is surviving a full force Zero Hand attack. I really think Netero is ending Pitou even without Zero Hand. Even in the data books, Netero's stats, intelligence and mind fortitude level is higher than Pitou's. Netero can definitely outsmart Pitou in combat, and he is vastly more experienced, and Netero's mind is strong as diamond. In battle, Netero is such a whole different type of monster, thanks to his immense experience and battle IQ that even Merriam praised his flawless attack combinations. Netero got stronger because of his insane willpower even after losing a leg to Merriam. He attacked Merriam thousands of times without even displaying any sign of being tired. All in all, Netero is winning against Pitou, the Royal Guard. He has far more experience, has insane skill, incredible Nen mastery, and incredible ability, incredible speed, and more endurance. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next Hunter x Hunter video.